Oh my. It's most things Kenobi, where we always have the high ground.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Leanne.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
This episode, we are going to discuss fanfics. And within this episode about fanfics, we're going to basically just start with why we started reading them, why we started writing them, which ones we like and what ones we turn to time and time again, and just kind of general chat about fan fiction.
Yeah, it's a love letter to fan fiction. They're a special subset of fandom, but also of writing. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds for you and me, because we love both things.
Yes. And I know it gets a bad rap. Like, it's always made fun of. It's not real writing. It's not real talent. Blah, blah. I think it is. I think it is too. And I also think it's funny that it's like always laughed at like it's the ultimate sign of a nerd. But like some fanfics are better than sanctioned, quote unquote, official books. Yeah, totally. And not only that, like really, who is it harming? I mean, there are some out there that I do not read. There are lines I won't cross with my personal reading genres. Themes? I don't know.
Yes.
Not everything out there is for everyone, myself included. But I think the reason why I started with fan fiction was because I wanted more about a character that I wasn't getting from the quote official media.
Yeah.
And there's room to explore.
Yes, there's like something about the original work that leaves you either wanting more or feeling like you don't have full closure on something.
Yes.
So you go to fan fiction and get that closure that you can't have officially. Do you remember what the first fandom was that you got pulled into for fan fiction?
Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, and it was so long. I mean, for me, this would have been like 2001. Okay.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I don't even remember what I typed in to get it.
Yeah, like what existed back then? I don't even have a clue. Like the two main sites I know of are AO3, Archive of Our Own, and fanfiction.net. Is that what that one is?
Yes, and that's the one I do remember finding Lord of the Rings fanfictions on.
That one does seem like it's been around since the early 2000s.
Yeah,
it's got that vibe.
It totally is like message board vibe. No, I have
like MySpace.
I literally have not been on that site. I don't even know if I could log in. I don't know that I remember my name or my password.
Same. Honestly, I think I've only logged in there once or twice. I usually use Archive of Our Own. That's like my go-to.
Yeah, me too. I mean, now.
Fanfiction.net is kind of known for being a little tamer, right? I think they have more community guidelines.
I really don't even remember.
Honestly, though, AO3 is a free-for-all. Like, people can post almost anything on there. So, yeah, you can end up in some accidental dark corners of the internet on there.
Oh, totally. Without a doubt.
Heed the tags.
The tags are important. Yes. The tags are very important.
Take them seriously.
You know what's funny is I got a comment one time. I have slow burn as a tag on my stories, and I don't think I really talk about this a lot, and many of you may not know that I've written stuff, which is totally fine, but I have slow burn as a tag, and someone wrote, "This is moving too slow, not interested," and I'm like, you didn't read the tags, did you? So heed the tags, folks. Heed the tags.
Yeah. I know, and now people are kind of asking you to put tags or like trigger warnings on each chapter, which I feel torn on that sometimes because I feel like that's what the tags are for. So like,
yeah.
But also I get it at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just remember it's still a story. If I could log back into fanfiction.net, I would go back. It was a story. The very first one I ever looked up and saved and reread was like young Faramir, young Boromir, and them as brothers.
Oh my gosh.
Because
That's adorable.
I wanted more on their relationship, and I must have typed in like stories about Boromir and Faramir as brothers, or lore, or something. I don't remember. And Tolkien has a lot of like appendix type stuff. There's, his writings that aren't a part of the book but are in a way. Like there's X number hundreds of pages of this appendices stuff. And that was great too. And I just wanted more. So I'm really thankful that there are talented individuals out there who can take characters and build upon the story and give us what we're imagining anyway. Like, I wonder what it would be like if those two characters were little kids, growing up in Minas Tirith, and that sort of thing.
That's awesome. And I love that. Like, have you ever written any Lord of the Rings fan fiction?
No.
See, I think I have the same thing where there's certain fandoms I will only read. Like, I have no interest in writing anything for them, but I love reading fan fictions for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't touch it because it's so close to me, but I can around some Star Wars characters, and I've actually written some Marvel. The Marvel stories are my most popular.
Because they're about Bucky. Hello. Yes, please and thank you.
Yeah. I came up with a pretty good storyline. I'm not going to lie. I was really impressed with myself.
I love your stories. That's how we became friends, actually. The very first thing, I had forgotten this because I went back into one of our first MTK episodes and I heard this and I was like, oh my God, how did I forget this?
Yeah, we talked about,
started talking because I said something about Obi-Wan drinking, like in that horrible scene in Attack of the Clones, You don't want to sell me death sticks, that scene. And then you commented, like, you had written a scene of Obi-Wan going to a bar drinking. Would I like to read it? And I was like, yes, I would. And that's kind of how we became friends.
It's so funny because you seemed so professional in your, not seemed, that makes it sound like you're not, but you seemed extremely well-spoken and professional in your Instagram back in the day. And like you had so many screenshots of Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars, and I was like, ooh, she writes? Let's talk to her. Anyhow, yeah, we did kind of bond over that.
Yeah. And you wrote that the one of Obi-Wan and Nyla. Like, I love that story.
Yeah.
One of your original characters.
Yeah. Yeah, Nyla's a good one.
You did a great one of Anakin. You did some great ones with Luke and Anakin. Like, you have some great stories.
Well, this is not supposed to be about me, this episode.
No, but I mean, it's part of our friendship, though. Like, we used to share chapters. Or, like, we haven't done that in a really long time now. Our lives are just so busy and hectic always. But, like, I remember shooting chapters back and forth to each other for the fics that we were writing. And like, I don't want anyone ever to beta my stuff, but I always looked forward to like sending you what I was writing because I knew like you would get it. Yes.
And I did, and I loved every second of it. Honestly, it was, though I do cherish those moments. What was the first fanfic you ever looked up? What fandom? Was it Star Wars?
It wasn't. It was honestly
Batman.
It's going to be
was it Batman?
It wasn't. No, it's super obscure and weird. It was Miss Fisher Murder Mysteries. Actually.
Oh, but we love Miss Fisher here. That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, at the time I looked it up, it was, I think only 2 seasons had come out, and they'd slow burned those characters. And because it was such an expensive show, you waited like years for another 8 episodes to come out. And it was just like, God, they're so in love and they won't just let it happen. So finally I was like, there's got to be fanfic out there that will satisfy my needs. And there were, and they were fantastic. And then when they made season 3 and the movie, you could tell the writer had read some of those fanfictions.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
There's a few things in there I was like, that looks awfully familiar. It was good stuff. Very saucy. It's all very saucy. Yeah.
Well, that's another reason why we like fan fiction, because we can get a little saucy where we don't get to get that way with most of the normal stuff that is out there.
But it's not all like... My boyfriend always thinks that it's just people banging. And it's like,
no,
it's not. It's not. It's more than that. Most of it is more than that. Although you can get that if that's all you want.
Listen, it's definitely out there.
I mean, what is it? The plot, porn without plot. It's the POP.
Yes.
If you want that, you can find it. But it's funny to me because you think that's what most people are looking for, but like, not really. No. You and I have both written fanfics that are long. They don't even necessarily have that kind of stuff in it. It's just very character driven. And those are the ones that are the most popular that you write. Like, people want the substance.
Yes. In fact, like, just personally, I enjoy coming up with an actual story because my brain likes to have an outlet in that manner. And I've always liked to write. And I definitely don't do it in my job. So it's the left brain being exercised for once, whereas the sciencey, I guess, right brain of me is what pays the bills. But I have the fun with trying to be creatively, I don't know, just creative on paper electronically. And that's really what I seek out in others. I remember when I first got into the Viking show, like Vikings, with Ragnar and the sons and everything, and was that on like A&E or History Channel? I don't even remember.
Honestly, I'm not even sure.
HBO? Am I way off? I don't even know. But everyone knows Vikings, right? There's so many offshoots of that, but it was the original show. And God, I was like, I bet there's fanfics out there that are really good with the certain characters. And I found some really good ones. The individuals that can write really bring it. I mean, really bring it.
You have to be really passionate about the subject because it's so time consuming and then it's so vulnerable. I'm sure this is true of any creative outlet, but writing feels so vulnerable because it's like your inner monologue for everyone to see.
Yeah.
And not necessarily that, just because you write something doesn't mean it's part of like your own existence. That's the whole point of creativity, is creating something that you may never experience yourself. But I'm just amazed by the dedication of people who write fan fiction. To stick with stuff for years, either as a reader or a writer, to like care enough to weave it into pre-existing plot lines. It's just, I applaud it. And so anyone who talks shit about it really doesn't, maybe they don't quite understand what goes into the whole process and why people love it.
Totally.
And there's this great scene of Ben Wyatt in Parks and Rec forcing someone to listen to a fan fiction he wrote about Star Trek, and she wants to like rip her own ears off. It's really funny because like we've all kind of been there where you're very excited about a subject and no one else gives a shit.
Totally.
There's people on the internet who do care.
There are. There's at least 2 websites dedicated to this.
Exactly. And like any fandom you can think of, like the most bizarre, oblique, weird reference, you could probably find a fan fiction for it somewhere.
Is there a faction of fan fiction that you don't like, that you don't gravitate towards? Meaning a style, not thematics, but a style.
Oh, well, I have if you've read any of my stuff, I have a very high tolerance for most things, but there were some stories where the violence in particular would just be so extreme that I had to like bow out eventually, because it was just I can't keep
that would
feeding
be tough.
this into my brain. And like it's a particular writer who deleted their account. They didn't even abandon the account, and they were super prolific. They wrote lots of stuff. Their stuff was excellently written, and a lot of it I really liked. Some of it was a little much for me, but some of it was exceptional. Like, it was very good. I don't know.
But yeah, I can understand that.
There's also, like sexual violence is also prevalent in fanfic writing, and that is something I generally,
Yeah, totally.
I guess if you're pro free speech, fan fiction is all about that.
Yeah.
Like you said, it goes into dark territory. Like, what about you? How would you answer that question?
I don't like alternate universe stuff. Never got into it.
Oh, is that what you meant? I went really dark.
Well,
yeah, that. I don't like that either.
That, yes. I struggle with picturing certain characters in alternate universes, although I see how it can be fun.
Yeah, like, I guess I generally avoid modern AU, and I really don't like crossover. I don't like when fandoms crossover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same.
I just find it too cluttered for my own brain, personally. But yeah, there was one, I will say, there was an AU that was Obi-Wan and Satine in, I think we've talked about this before, in Speakeasy era Chicago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can buy into this. Tell me more. And then they just stopped writing the fic.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I did read, I definitely enjoyed this. It was Cassian Andor was a vampire and Jyn Erso was a vampire hunter. And I enjoyed that very much.
I would have never thought of that, but it works.
It works.
Yeah.
It works really well. I generally, though, avoid AU. You're right, though.
Well, I can also picture Obi-Wan and Satine in a speakeasy setting. I could see how that works. I just don't want to, I'm not interested enough to like read it, but I can picture it and that's fun.
Yeah. I just am more intrigued on the idea of seeing, or like, I guess, imagining Obi-Wan in that era of clothing.
Now that, yes. Yes. Agreed. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see that.
So, with Star Wars fan fiction, because obviously we're a Star Wars podcast, what do you generally gravitate to? Like, what if you are seeking something out, what are you looking for usually?
That's funny.
If you dare answer that question. I know that's kind of a personal question. You can generalize it. Just
no,
doesn't.
I look for Anakin and Padme because okay, I'm so biased with Anakin, but I never quite liked the character of Padme 100%, right? Mm-hmm. There's always a little something off that always made me like her less than I would have preferred. I did dig into Padme and Anakin during the Republic era, while they're married, but she's not pregnant yet, and it's still kind of new, just to see how others interpreted Padme as a character. Mm-hmm. And I did find one. They are in a winter setting. I don't remember the planet, but it was a winter setting, and it was very interesting the way that this particular author wrote Padme in a way that I gravitated to more. It was like her inner dialogue, and it was something that we don't usually get with Padme. And so that's exactly what I was seeking out, is kind of a more of an understanding of this character that I'm not getting from the main media forms of Padme.
So interesting. Did it lead you to like her a little bit more, or not? It didn't really?
Yeah, a little bit more. It was still, because when you write fanfic, you're, at least in my personal writing, you're trying to stay true to the character themselves.
Yeah.
I don't want to deviate too much away from, I want to enhance but not deviate. And I believe that this author did that, enhance but didn't deviate. So there's still like the mamby-pamby Padme to be exact, but the Anakin was phenomenal.
Yeah.
The way she wrote the boyish, struggling to become a man, struggling to hide the darkness, struggling to be a good man. You know, oh my God, it was that one I have bookmarked. And it's on AO3. I could dig it up. It's real good. It's real good. I don't remember the name of it, though. But I think it was like 4 very long chapters. Very long chapters.
How interesting. These are the things that I kind of love about fan fiction. Because what you're just saying there is some people like to deviate a lot and make the characters completely different. It's like they get irritated with the character being boxed in, so they make them so far away from canon that, to me, it often feels like just write your own story.
That's it. Yeah.
But there's that, and then there's that some people also would love to write, like, I don't even know, break it down into, like, I guess, quote unquote normal length of chapters. Some people just write it all as one thing. Some people like put it into 4 really long chapters.
Yeah, it was like a 4-part movie almost. It was like a 4-part series.
Yeah. It's so cool. I kind of enjoy watching how people break up their own story as well. Because I think that's part of the experience, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's a good way to phrase that, because I never really quite thought of it that way until this moment. And now I'm thinking about how I break chapters, and I don't really know that I had a formula.
Well, and sometimes it's because, like, it kind of tells you how the person either felt, too. It's kind of like they had just gushed it all out into one chapter, and they're just like, here, take it.
Yeah.
And other people, it's like I don't want to say it's more methodical, because it's not. I'm not trying to, like, down talk that method at all, because that's actually a really fun, validating, and exciting way to write, where it's just like brain vomit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And then you can go the other extreme, where you're like really meticulous and like plotting this full arc, and you can see the people who do that as well. And I find both methods totally enjoyable. It just depends on what mood you're in.
Yeah, it is. It's harder for me to go back and reread portions I really like in an extra long chapter, so to speak.
If it's harder to find it again.
Especially on a phone. Yeah. You can't do a word search or, or something. But I think I always wrote it to where it's definitely the end of it has a complete stop, but it leads into the next thing, and I need a break. There needs to be some sort of physical break.
I do that too. Sometimes I even deliberately cliffhang
same.
Lots of the chapters, because as a reader, that's what I enjoy. And you and I have talked about that too. A lot of times we're just writing ourselves what we would like to read as
100%
readers.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And usually it's more about the character and putting them in situations. You want to see them in more situations. So you play around with it.
I think Clone Wars is a great catalyst for fan fiction, because they tease you with scenarios.
Yes. And they give you more characters too. You can add clones now. You can add different admirals, different Jedi that we've come to learn about and know, and all kinds of stuff. Different planets. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. And they have developed the characters just enough to keep you wanting more, because it's a kid's show, quote unquote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
They bring you right up to the edge of something, and then they're like, and end of the episode. And you're like, what the fuck? There's more. Tell me more.
I know.
How could you go to Nigeria and come back and not have emotional trauma? How?
We still somebody needs to write about the therapist in the temple, in the Jedi temple. Maybe I'll do that someday.
A whole series.
It's the therapist's notes in the Jedi temple. And that's the story. Different chapters are the different therapy notes.
They're just every Jedi's medical file. That's what these books are.
Today I saw Ahsoka. She had a lot to say about that last mission where she was
attacked by parasites.
Yeah, or that. I don't know. I was just thinking all kinds of...
Or hunted by Trandoshans. There's so many things we could list.
Obi-Wan ate 3 pies over his sink last night, and he's feeling quite guilty today. I asked him, tell me why where you feel the guilt in your body and how you would like to... I'm sorry.
He said,
I could go on and on.
The pain centers around my stomach. You realize it's just because you ate 3 pies.
Yeah, it's a carb overload, Obi-Wan. You'll be okay. Go take a nap.
Drink some water.
Do you know of a fanfic story that you wish you would have written or someone would write because it's something that you're dying to know and read? Just any topic, any fandom?
Oh my God, that is a great question. Yes.
Yes? What is it? Do you care to share?
I guess I kind of write the ones that I'm most curious about.
Well, if there's one that you would tackle, is there one you would tackle because you want to explore?
There is, and I'm actually almost done with it. It's I've always been interested in what happens to Obi-Wan after Qui-Gon dies and he has to go back to the temple and start taking care of this little boy.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that one, and like I want to rewrite season 2 of Andor.
Oh my goodness.
I actually wrote an outline a while ago.
Oh, did
but
you?
I'll never write it. It's too convoluted and
Did you write it after you saw season 2 or did you write it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I did, yeah.
Oh, I might want to see this outline.
There's just so many strands that didn't connect and I was like, I know I can do this better. And I know that sounds like so arrogant, but I knew I could.
Yeah, I would such that I believe there's a lot that you could contribute to this show. Yes.
I just felt like what they laid down in season 1 was so rich and interesting and was going to tie perfectly into Rogue One. And then I feel like I think the structure, we talked about this in our Andor episodes, like the structure just kind of sent them in directions that made it difficult to close certain loops. And that's all. What about you? What would you like?
I always wanted a female to be part of the Fellowship of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
I always wanted a female character to be included in the, like, main characters of Lord of the Rings that are in the Fellowship.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to explore that. Like, if there had been just a female in there. Not because I want representation, but I do think it would create a different dynamic and a female character could bring something different to the lineup and how things played out. And I've thought about it at length and I'm not going to talk about it, but I think that would be fun to explore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. Do you remember the first fan fiction you ever wrote? Not necessarily shared with anybody, but that, like, how old were you when you wrote your first piece that was probably just for you?
It was kind of like my brain was doing hockey. I was writing about hockey. So,
yeah.
Because I love hockey.
Yeah. I mean, you're a huge... Oh, I'm going to say the wrong team.
Penguins.
Thank you, Penguins. I was going to say a team, and I'm like, nope, that's football.
Well,
footy ball. All the sporty balls.
I just love hockey in general, and I always wanted to, create my own team. So I don't know if that counts as a fandom, but I am a fan of hockey, so... and there are sports fanfics out there.
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's not just... We're just talking about it in, like, terms of fandom, but there's, quote, fan fiction for all sorts of areas.
Actually, if anyone is on, like, Bookstagram or Book Talk, I'm not on TikTok, but I know it's a part of this, there is actually... I have a Kindle, Amazon Kindle, and I used to have Kindle Unlimited, where you could get, like, a book for free or a very discount or something with the membership. And one of the top books lately is a hockey themed, like, romance book.
Really?
And I saw it and I'm like, hey, wait a second. Now it's mainstream. Okay. But
you were ahead of your time.
Way ahead. But I noticed that it has like a part 2 and everyone's gravitating towards the part 2. I'm just like, oh man, I'm not going to read it. I can't read it.
You might have to.
But I can see where it would be a good themed story thing to explore. I've been there.
Yeah.
Well, there's competition, there's enemies, there's love interest, there's high stakes. Same as a Jedi.
It's they use a giant magical wand too.
That's it. It's all like a Jedi.
I mean, it's true. People are crazy about sports of all kinds. Like, we even have a couple listeners who are big into, what is it, F1? What is it?
Oh,
the racing?
Yep, the racing.
Yeah, it's a huge thing.
Well, now they have movies and soundtracks and all kinds of stuff about all that. So,
I know. People love that stuff.
Fan fiction is just it. It's fiction. Why does it have to have fan attached to it? It's just fiction.
Because we don't get paid.
Well, that too. Okay, fair. But even if, there was 50 Shades of Grey. Wasn't that a fan fiction? Don't get me started.
I can't say. I didn't read it, I can't say, honestly. But yeah.
I will tell you, I tried to read it. It was an insult to my intelligence and me as a woman.
Yeah.
It was not okay.
Yeah.
That's for me.
I stayed away from it. I thought it would just fill me with rage, so.
It's something. It's not for me. But I know a lot of people really liked it. I think they were of a certain age at the time.
Well, and it's what my sister and I call snack fiction, where it's just
that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's not like a piece of literature. It's something you read on the beach. For me, snack fiction is fan fiction. I would rather read fan fiction.
Yeah.
I love, I used to really love, there was this one fanfic writer who wrote fan fiction of the Jedi Apprentice novels. And
so fiction about fiction.
Yes.
Writing fiction about written fiction. That's okay.
I know it's so meta because also it's legends of Star Wars. It's not even canon anymore. But
yeah,
I liked those books, but they just weren't. I didn't read them as a kid. The first time I read them as an adult, and I have very fond memories of having to track each copy down because they're not even YA. They're like children literature. So they're chapter books for 7-year-olds. And I would have to go to the most obscure libraries in the city of Chicago when I was living there and track down these books. And they would always assume I was checking them out for my child. I'm I don't have children. This is for me.
Oh my God. Secrets out.
Yeah, exactly. So I read all of them and they were okay, but they left me feeling oh man, they couldn't make these stories into what I really want because they're for very small children. So I went and found fan fiction that made them incredible. They were so much better because it was the story but written for an adult with an adult perspective, and it was just really beautifully done.
Yeah.
And one of that authors also did Obi-Wan as a young apprentice taking a life for the first time.
Oh, that would be an interesting thing to explore.
It was really interesting because it wasn't even necessarily on purpose. It was his hand was forced by a person who was overly aggressive and he had no choice in the matter. It was very good. It was a very interesting idea. So that was stuff I gravitated to when I first kind of got into the Star Wars fandom, fan fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many different aspects to it. And it's just an outlet. And people need outlets because, we can get a season of a show that we desperately loved and it doesn't go the way we wanted or hoped. So we need an outlet. Or there's character exploration that needs done that we're never going to get. Little Boromir and Little Faramir, stuff like that.
Right.
And so,
well, especially because Tolkien is gone. There's not going to be any more official stuff that comes out. So you have to have fan fiction then.
Right. Right. And
to tie you over.
Honestly, it's just not feasible for every single person who's talented in writing to get authored and published and given a paycheck. And so I think it's great that this kind of fan fiction outlet is there for people who do have a talent, who want to write, who need to write, and who need to be, creatively exploring different genres and different medias and different things. I'm glad it exists.
Yeah, me too. I am too. It's such a comfort, honestly. Like anytime I get on the AO3 website, I feel calmer, which is so weird. I think it's because I associate it with like, it's kind of like that feeling of getting a good book and like getting under a blanket with your cozy drink and like diving into something that is going to be exactly what you want,
Yes.
It's like, it's kind of magical because you could find anything in there. Yeah, you can find some dark, scary stuff, but you could also find like the exact story you've always been hoping you'd get.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too. Like you said, I'm very glad it exists. And I love, honestly, I feel really proud of AO3 because they fight really hard to protect the writers who post on there.
Yeah, that's true.
They have a whole legal team that's volunteer. Everything about AO3 is volunteer. And anytime they run like a drive to earn money, they exceed their goal immediately because I think it means that much to people.
100%, yeah. Yeah, and it shows.
Yeah. No. All right, join us back for our next episode. We're going to return to Luke Skywalker because it's been a minute since we talked about Luke.
Yeah.
We're going to do kind of a part 2 to an episode we've done previously where we talked about how Leia, all the ways Leia is like Anakin and Padme. We're going to do a version of that for Luke. So join us back next time. We're going to talk about how Luke is like his mother, Padme Amidala, and his father, Anakin Skywalker, and it's going to be awesome.
And thank you so much for joining us here on the Most Things Kenobi podcast. If you would like to support the podcast by becoming a patron, head over to the Most Things Kenobi Patreon. You can also interact with us on our social media platforms of Tumblr, Instagram, YouTube, and Threads. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. If you enjoy our podcast, feel free to rate us on Spotify and Apple. And if you need just one place to find all of these, head over to mostthingskenobi.com.
So until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.